What is up, Deeper Things family, guys? Welcome back to another well done video, guys. So, for this money month, guys, we have talked about why you're broke. We talked about the doubles game, and we're going to talk about how I can make you a millionaire. Easy, easy. If you follow these steps and you do what I'm about to show you in the video, I would say 9 times out of 10, you will be a millionaire. Unless crazy stuff happens. And the 1/10 is if the Lord Jesus comes back, right? That's the 1/10. But 9 times out of 10, guys, I'm not gonna say guarantees because there's stuff that you guys can actually do that can mess this up. But if you follow it to a T, 9 times out of 10, I would say 90% of you guys will become millionaires. And so we're gonna start. So right now, as you can see, I have a compound interest calculator started. All right, if we took the knowledge of what I did in my first video for money month, why you're broke, and we went over what is money, who controls it, why you get paid the way you do, and your own personal budget. And when we got to that own personal budget, we talked about, oh, if I'm making 50K a year, let's only live off of, net 50K a year net. Let's only live off of what, 35, 40K a year, right? We talked about that, remember? And I said that'll come in a later video. Well, here it is. So we're going to start age group of a 25-year-old. Guys, I'm currently 25 years old, right? I'm currently 25 years old. And that's the age group we're going to start in, because most of you guys are either around this age, or maybe a year or two older, or you're like 20 years old. And if you're around that, guys, so when I'm doing this, if you're 25 years old or younger, let's say if you're 20, do the 25-year goal. Do the 25-year, okay? If you're 20 years old, do what this first one I'm about to show you. If you're older, right? If you're older, do the next one. And if you can't do the next one, like, guys, when I'm saying it, if you're 30, guys, do the next one, because it's only a 5-year difference, right? But if you're like 26, 27, guys, stick to doing this one. You'll be all right, trust me. I don't know if it'll be guaranteeing you a millionaire. That's where one of the stuff comes into play. But we're going to do 3 different age groups. So first, 25 years old. And I'm going to say we're all going to start with $1,000. If you don't have $1,000, you can easily put in the stock market, and it's not going to hurt you for any emergencies or anything, guys. You have an income problem. You have an income problem. You need to get your income up. Okay? And I'm going to start with, what should we start with, guys? Let's just say we're going to start with $315, right? And if we're 25, retirement age, guys, 40 years. We'll just say 65 years old. It's honestly probably going to be higher than that. Estimated interest rate, we're going to do 8% plus or minus 2%, right? And we're going to compound annually, right? So off of 8%, guys, you will be a millionaire in 40 years, right? If you're 25 years old currently, you'll be at 8%, you'll be a millionaire. Worst case scenario, 6%, guys, which on the average investor gets anywhere from 8 to 10% a year, the average investor. The worst case scenario, let's say you only get 6% average yearly, you'll be looking at 600K. Guys, unless some crazy, that's what I'm saying. The 1/10 something crazy happens, guys, you shouldn't have them results. If you're going to do what I'm telling you to do, guys, you should either have the 8% or the 10%. And if you have 10% compounded, right, every single year, right, for the next 40 years, guys, you'll actually have $1.7 million, right? Getting close to that $2 million, right? So, guys, that's not bad. You started with the initial investment of $1,000, And every month you contribute $315 into your Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, anything, whatever it is, whatever brokerage you use. If you keep on putting that $315 in, and you started with $1,000, guys, you will be a millionaire by the time you retire. Okay, that sounds too long. I know, guys, but strictly for this video, this is the easiest way, and you ain't really got to worry about that. Just the easiest way. Now, next we're going to go to the 35-year-old, right? And we're going to keep, the only thing that we're going to change in these videos is the monthly contribution. And you're going to see why, right? So we know off of 8% for the 25-year-old, if he puts $315 in, he'll be a millionaire by the age of 65. Now, let's just change the time in years. So let's go from 40 years to 30 years, right? Because if he's 35 or she's 35, right? 35 plus 30 years of investing, be 65 years old. Now let's calculate that. Okay, we've calculated that. Now, look, you see how much it dipped down? So if you're again 8%, you actually get less than $500,000. See what I'm saying? So if you don't start as soon as possible, let's say instead of starting at 25 or earlier, 18, that's when I started. If you don't start at that time, guys, you are losing money the further you wait. So I'm going to actually go a little bit more than double just off the numbers, right? So I'm going to say, let me put, well, be like 600, like, let me put 740. We'll go 740, 750. We'll see if we're close. Calculate. We're very close. So, look at this. 6%, you're over $500,000. That's decent. If you want to live in that rural area, that's decent. I mean, guys, all these results are rural area results. I mean, if you want to live in Los Angeles or, Miami and all that stuff, guys, you got to make big bucks. So, off of 8%, guys, you're getting $1,016,000. Still not bad. And then for the 10%, you're getting about 1.4 million. Now, guys, how much, I just want to be honest with you, how realistic is it for any of you guys, if you're 35 years old, to put $740 in a month for the next 30 years? How realistic is that for you guys? I just want you guys to think. You think this number is bad, you should see the next number that we're about to put in for if you're 45 years old. It's horrible. I know barely any of you can afford that number. Just being honest. How much of you guys have $740 that you can easily put into it at the age of 35? And that's assuming if you have kids and a family and a house and all these bills, right? How much? Maybe 2% of you guys? Maybe 2%? Maybe 5%? Not a lot. But the whole reason why I'm showing you guys this is because compound interest, the sooner you start, the more you'll get. The more you put in, the more you'll get. So, let's go to the 45-year-old. We're going to change the length of years, right? So we're going to go 20 years, because if you're 45 years old, 20 years will be 65 for retirement age. So far. By the time I'm that age, I'll be like 80 years old is the retirement age. All right, let's calculate it, guys. Oh, shoot, I did something wrong. Oh, that's what I did. I did 45 years. Big, you guys, man, big numbers. You guys probably be flipping out. Dang, look at that, guys. Look at that. If you did 45 years, so if you guys are 20 years old and you guys put $740 in there a month, For the just the 8%, that's 3.4 million. But for the 10%, guys, that's 6.4. And even if you got the lowest amount possible, like you still be close to 2 million. Like that's crazy. But you see what I'm saying? Just the length and time. But let's change it. Okay, length and time. If we did what we did previously, 740 for the 35 years old, $740 for the 35-year-old, but we did it with the 45-year-olds. This is what we got. So, just like you seen from going from 25 to 35, you see, oh wow, it really, yeah. So, you're looking at 8%, 411,000. I mean, the 6% at least is over a quarter, but for the 10%, you're looking at barely half a mil, right? And so, guys, we're gonna have to probably like do my calculations. Well, if we double it, we'll get to. If we double it, we get to like 800 something. So we'll have to get close. I'm just gonna put 18. Let me put 1825. Sorry if my math sucks. Oh, very close, very close. So, pretty good. So, if we start with the initial investment, guys, of $1,000, we monthly contribute monthly for the next 20 years 1,825 with the estimated interest rate of 8% variance range plus or minus 2%. Compound frequency annually. Guys, you'll be looking at 1 million at 8%, 1.2 at 10%, and 808,000 at 6%, right? 6%, guys, kind of ignore that unless if extreme stuff happens. But typically, 8%, 8 to 10%. Now, how much of you guys can easily put in 1,000, basically almost 2 racks in a month for the next 20 years? How many of you guys can do that? Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people. Unless if you're making like 20 grand a month, you probably can't do this stuff, guys. You probably can't. But you see how important compound interest is. Look at the 25-year-old versus the 45-year-old. The 25-year-old, he only had to put what? $315 in. And the 45-year-old has to put $1,825 in a month. Guys, it's ridiculous, right? But ignorance, guys, is what I'm saying. Ignorance can cost you. If you don't put this money in earlier, it's going to cost you. And okay, well, Kane, what does it cost me? It costs you, well, instead of starting at 25 years old, putting only $315 in, at 45 years old, it's going to cost you $1,825. Who wants it? Who can afford that? Who can do that? Unless you're making 20 grand a month. Right. 0.01%, I'll tell you that. Right? So guys, that's the compound interest calculator. You've seen that, right? Now look, I just want to show you guys something. Let's say we put in, I think a decent amount of people can afford $315 monthly contribution. I think. I don't know for sure. If you did what the 25-year-old is supposed to do at 45 years old, guys, this is what you'll have. At 8%, 177,000. At 10%, just under, a quarter mil. That might be all right, but what are you guys spending money on? You know what I'm saying? If you're at retirement age, more likely you're gonna have to move in with one year kid and save all that money for hospital bills in the future, or you know what I'm saying, and help your kid out because you're living with them. You know what I'm saying? It's just, guys, that's just not. That's something I don't want you guys to do. I'm going to show you guys the stocks 2 stocks. Great thing about this, it's already managed for you. You don't even have to manage it. Second thing is I would go 50-50 on both these. 50% of your money in. So if you're doing, let's say you start out 18K, well, at 18 you can put like $250. So let's say you put 125 and 125, right? That's what I'm saying. So we're gonna go to the first one. And the first one is the SPY. That's the ticker symbol SPY and SP 500. Right? It's already managed for you guys as you're seeing me scroll down. Look, it's a large blend. It pays a little bit of a dividend, right? And look what it did over the past 5 years. 85%. Max close to 300%, guys. That's what I'm saying. And we'll go to the next one, which is QQQ. Invesco QQQ. This is kind of like a weighted NASDAQ, guys. So what I like, the S&P 500, it's 500 Fortune 500 companies all in one stock, already diversified. The NASDAQ is already diversified, but the NASDAQ is a lot more technology driven. So we'll go over to the year. 21%, the 5 years, 145%. I would divvy it up 50% in the SPY, 50% in the QQQ. And guys, it pays a little bit of a dividend. But guys, this stuff's already invested for you, diversified. All you have to do is like, look, here, I'll go into one of my other accounts that I show you guys. And I do this with my one account. Look, SPY, this is my Roth IRA. Every month I put $25 in there, every single month. Same thing with the QQQ. 25 reoccurring investment, $25 every single month in the QQQ. Guys, I'm not sitting here and telling you stuff that I don't do. I do the same exact very thing.